If you've ever written an exam that decided whether you graduate or get held back a year, you know the absolute terror of a silent exam hall. But what my class did during our final chemistry exam wasn't just risky, it was a coordinated, high-stakes operation that almost ruined all of our lives. To understand how close we came to destruction, you need to know about our supervisor, Mr. Benson. Mr. Benson was the kind of teacher who looked like he hadn't smiled since 1995. He didn't just watch the room, he hunted. He knew every trick in the book. And if he caught you even glancing at someone else's paper, you were getting a direct trip to the principal's office with an automatic expulsion letter. The subject was chemistry, and for most of us, looking at that exam paper felt like trying to read ancient hieroglyphics. Section A was bad enough, but when I turned the page to Section B, my heart literally sank. I didn't know a single formula. I looked to my left and right, and everyone had the exact same look of pure panic on their faces. Except for one guy, Jude. Jude was the undisputed genius of our class, but he wasn't selfish. Before the exam, a few guys on row 4 had made a secret pact with him. If the exam was impossible, Jude was going to write down a master key on a tiny piece of paper, what we called it ghost paper, and pass it down the line. About 30 minutes into the dead silence of the hall, I felt a light, sharp tap on the back of my shoe. It was the signal. I slowly moved my left foot back, and I felt something small and rolled up slide under my heel. Jude had executed phase 1 perfectly. My hands were literally shaking. I dropped my eraser on purpose, leaned down to pick it up, and snagged the paper. I flattened it out under my answer booklet. It was beautiful. Jude had written down every single chemical equation with microscopic neatness. I started writing as fast as my hand could move, copying the formulas for question 3. The plan was simple. Copy it, roll it back up, and pass it to the guy in front of me. We were going to pull off the perfect crime. But we forgot one thing. Mr. Benson had excellent timing. Just as I was about to roll the paper up, the entire hall went dead quiet. The sound of Mr. Benson's heavy leather shoes pacing up and down the aisles suddenly stopped. I looked up slightly, keeping my head down. He was standing at the top of row 4. He slowly put his hands behind his back and started marching directly down my aisle. Every step he took felt like a heartbeat. He wasn't looking around. His eyes were locked straight onto my row. He knew something was up. In a state of absolute, blind panic, I couldn't pass the paper forward anymore. If I moved my arm, he'd see it. So, I did the only thing I could think of. I swept my hand across the desk and let the tiny piece of paper flutter right onto the concrete floor, directly next to my chair. Mr. Benson stopped right next to my desk. The room was so quiet, you could hear the clock ticking on the wall. He slowly looked down at the floor, his eyes locked onto the white scrap of paper. He started leaning down, reaching his hand out to pick it up. If his fingers touched that paper, row 4 was finished, our exams were voided, and our futures were gone. Right as his hand was inches away from the paper, a massive, deafening crash echoed from the back of the hall. Boom! Jude had stood up, caught his foot on his heavy wooden desk, and completely flipped it over. Pens, rulers, and ink bottles shattered and scattered all over the concrete floor. It sounded like a bomb went off. Mr. Benson snapped his head around, stood up straight, and yelled, "What is the meaning of this?" He completely forgot about the floor next to me and marched furiously to the back of the room to confront Jude. That distraction gave me exactly 3 seconds. I slid my foot out, kicked the cheat sheet deep under the heavy iron lockers against the wall, and took a deep breath. Jude took a massive detention and a heavy reprimand for disrupting the exam, but he saved the entire row. We all passed that chemistry exam with flying colors, and Jude became an absolute legend in our school's history. But that wasn't even the craziest thing that happened during the last week.
Initiate retreat. Understood.
Next time, I'm going to tell you about the day the principal found the locker stash and launched a full investigation. If you made it this far, drop a comment and let me know. Would you have flipped your desk to save your friends? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next story. See ya!